Welcome to Apologetics, gentlemen. It's an unusual year, unusual times. I've never introduced the class like this before. This short video, is intended for those of you who couldn't be in class on the first day, although all of you are welcome to look at it. What would you have done if you walked in the room for the very first class of the semester, senior year, apologetics? You know, many of you just heard the word apologetics for the first time during orientation, or maybe you've never heard it before. And you walk in, and on the table or the teacher's desk in the front of the room, or my rolling stand-up desk that I use a lot, you would see something like this. What would you say? A lot of times I actually stack books up kind of like that. And then they're up there, and I like to watch people's expressions as they look at that. And they have this look like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is this like that? And then I like to think of, what if you walked by the teacher's desk or that rolling desk that I have in the front of the room, and you saw this pile of that. Same things, or pretend they're textbooks or something. I usually use books because I toss them on the desk, they make a big noise, and they're scattered around like that, right? And I might have somebody set it up and then toss it again. You see the difference, right? What is the difference? Which one looks like it was set up? How would you describe it? Between this first image, the house of cards, or the pyramid of cards, and just the randomness. All right, likewise, consider these two images, right? These are just Google images, stock images of a messy junkyard. Right? Various parts and pieces of things just scattered pell-mell in an outdoor junkyard. And then on the right, you see the inside of a pocket watch. Note all the different gears, the sizes that have to fit together perfectly, right? I'm going to back up again. How many of you, if you walked in the room, would just look at this and say, wow, how clever of those cards to arrange themselves that way? Or what are the chances that those cards just randomly ended that way? Someone was in a hurry, just tossed the pile of cards up at the door, and look how they landed. How many of you would think that? Not with this one, but with that one. How many of you would look at this image on the right of the watch gears and say, just the result of random chance? Now, the one on the left looks kind of much more random. Maybe not totally random, but much more random. I think there's Chuck down there, right? Okay. Again, there's a closer look at the gears of the watch. Fine. All right, so you take a tree, you look out the window, outside St. Catherine Library school building. Actually, I think this is from the UK. This is where I got this image from Google. But you see a tree, just a tree, not just a tree. Big deal, right? Okay, a tree. But then you look a little bit more, right? How much order is there in a tree? How much structure? How much beauty, right? If you would take a cross-section of I think this is of a pine tree, but there's your average thing, and you see there's an order. The concentric rings, the heart, and then every year the tree adds another layer. And you go a little deeper, and you get a cross-section of the lignin of the woods. The wood is relatively light, and it's rigid, perfect for building. Right? You see the grain still in there. It's kind of beautiful. Right? It's just random. It's harder to think something like that's random, isn't it? And you look again, okay, this is the cell of a plant. It's just a random plant cell, right? And your average plant has what, 250 parts? Your cell has lipid membranes. You have the nucleus. You have the mitochondria. You have all these different things you learn about in biology. And if one of them does not work, you don't have a working cell. And so there's a certain parallel with the workings of that watch that I showed you a minute ago. And you go further, you go deeper again, right? You recognize this image from your 9th grade biology or 11th grade AP biology work, right? This is the double helix of the DNA molecule. And, it's just amazing how this thing works. The intricate order and balance of it all determines all aspects of life. What's the point of all these questions? Is it reasonable? Does it make sense to look at something that has order, that has structure, that has beauty, that has a fine balance like these things, and to think that it just happened or that it just made itself? That's our opening question. That's the opening question, gentlemen. And why do I say that? Because when you look at the world and all its glory, and you see the beauty of the natural world, you see the structure of it, the way that it's not perfect, but it's so balanced. Did it just happen randomly? Is that reasonable? Who among you in your daily lives would look at any of these things you see all the time, or you know of at least, and would think they're just the fruit of randomness? Is that reasonable? And we'll stop there.